Bruce Lee was no ordinary man. There was a reason he had such an impact. My goal is to explain his philosophy in the deepest way possible and inspire people. He undoubtedly said things that will contribute to all of our lives in some way. Perhaps we should listen and follow his example. Think about your first reaction when life corners you. Usually, your muscles tense up, you resist, and you feel like you're about to be crushed under the pressure. So, what if I told you that the world's most powerful weapon is actually the softest thing? Bruce Lee was a genius who influenced the world not only with his fists but also with his mind. We've all heard that famous phrase at the heart of his philosophy, "Be like water, my friend." But let's be honest, how many of us truly understand the real power behind this profound statement? Clearing your mind is not just a meditation technique, it is the art of survival. Being formless and shapeless does not mean giving up your identity, it means masterfully managing every situation. Today we'll discuss how to apply Bruce Lee's timeless lesson to every area of your life. We won't just explore the advice of a martial artist. We'll decipher the secrets of a master of life. Perhaps you've been too rigid up until now, and that's why you've suffered so much. Perhaps you can't move because of the walls you've built in your own mind. Now is the time to tear down those walls and find your flow. By the end of this video, you will notice that your perspective on the world has completely changed. Prepare for a journey into the depths of the mind. Remember, this is not just a lesson, it is a guide for spiritual transformation. Grab your notebook or sit back and let these words envelop you. As the legendary master said, we are beginning to discover the power of emptiness. Here is the foundation of Bruce Lee's philosophy, his first and greatest lesson. Empty your mind, be formless, be like water, my friend. The power of emptiness, clearing your mental space. Think of your mind like a cup. If it is already full, it is impossible to add anything new to it. Most of our minds are filled to the brim with regrets from the past, anxieties about the future, and the judgments of others. When Bruce Lee said, empty your mind, he didn't mean to stop thinking but to rid yourself of prejudices. If you start something with the thought, this is how it is, you will never see what it could actually be. An empty mind is as fresh and powerful as a child's mind, open to every possibility. Collecting information develops intelligence, but discarding what is useless brings wisdom. You must ask yourself, do these thoughts in your mind belong to you, or are they weeds planted there by society? True creativity only emerges in that silent void where you silence the noise in your head. If a fighter is too focused on his opponent, his mind is full and getting hit becomes inevitable. But if his mind is empty, he doesn't see the move, he feels it and his body reacts on its own. Life is the same. Focusing too hard on a problem is the biggest obstacle to the solution. When you empty your mind, you begin to see things as they are, not as you want them to be. This state of emptiness grants you immense reaction speed and clarity. Remember that what makes a room useful is not the walls, but the empty space between those walls. Simplifying the chaos in your mind every day is a spiritual detox. Every unnecessary thought is a heavy stone you carry that slows you down. Bruce Lee wiped his mind like a mirror every morning so that the world would reflect upon him in its purest form. You must start cleaning that mirror today and get rid of the old files in your mind. Emptiness is not something to be feared. On the contrary, it is a sacred space where everything can begin. Only when you empty your mind can you make room to truly become a new person. Beyond boundaries, breaking your personal mold. Most of us build invisible prisons by telling ourselves, this is just who I am. These molds are sometimes inherited from our families and sometimes from our past failures. Bruce Lee saw the refusal to fit into a mold as the key to true freedom. When he said, be formless, he meant never let anyone put you in a box. If you stay tied to only one style, one method, or one perspective, you stop growing at that point. Every adjective you use to define yourself is actually a tight garment that restricts your movement. The human mind is not a structure with boundaries, but an ever-expanding universe. Having a mold makes you predictable, yet no one can defeat the one who is formless. While life is changing every moment, your persistence in a fixed idea only harms you. To push your limits, you must first accept that those limits only exist in your mind. Bruce Lee studied all the classical styles of martial arts but became a slave to none. He opened the door to creating one's own unique path by saying, having no style as style. Every time you say, there is no other way in your life, you are actually hitting a mental mold. Breaking these molds can be painful because they give us a false sense of security. But true strength is leaving that comfort zone and being able to take shape within the unknown. Remember, a rock shatters because it stands still, but water overcomes every obstacle because it is fluid. From today on, make it a habit to ask yourself, how else could this be? As you rid yourself of fixed ideas, you will begin to see the infinite options life offers you. Instead of trying to fit into a mold, turn every mold into a tool that serves your purpose. When you tear down your boundaries, you will realize that there were never any boundaries at all. The art of adaptation, moving like a liquid. Water does not fight with the obstacle in its path. It simply flows around it and continues its journey. The unexpected obstacles we encounter in life are actually opportunities that test our ability to adapt. Most of us freeze or waste energy resisting when things don't go as planned. However, moving like a liquid means being able to change shape instantly according to changing conditions. If you enter a cup, you become the cup. If you fall into a crisis, you must become the solution form of that crisis. This is not weakness. On the contrary, it is the highest form of survival and winning. A mind with the ability to adapt can never be cornered because it always finds a way out. During a fight, when Bruce Lee's opponent became stiff, he would become soft. When the opponent left a gap, he would fill it like a flood. You too, when the difficulties of life come upon you, can neutralize their effects by showing flexibility instead of headbutting them. To stay fixed is to decay, while to stay fluid is to always remain fresh and alive. Those who resist change are like large oak trees that fall in a storm. Those who adapt are like reeds that bend with the wind but never break. True mastery is not trying to control change but being able to dance with change itself. A liquid does not use a map to find its way. It simply senses the point of least resistance and flows through it. Spend your energy not on fighting things you cannot change, but on thinking about how you will shine in new situations. When plans fall apart, instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What shape should I take now?" This flexibility will bring you not only success but also immense inner peace. Because when you start to flow like water, the natural rhythm of movement replaces stress. Adaptation is the purest form of intelligence, and in this world only those who adapt can leave a lasting mark. No matter how harsh the conditions are, they should not be enough to stop your flow. Stay in the flow, change your direction, but never give up on that journey to your goal. Internal strength, finding power in softness. People generally look for strength in hardness, in shouting, or in physical resistance. Yet Bruce Lee taught us that real strength lies in the capacity to remain calm and soft. Softness is not helplessness. It is the expression of an immense energy brought under control. No matter how hard a punch is, it cannot cause damage when it hits the air. If you stand like a rock against a blow, you take all the energy of that blow into your body. But if you are soft like water, you allow that energy to flow through you and you remain unharmed. Internal strength is being able to maintain your center and remain unshaken even in the middle of a storm. Anger makes you rigid and open to mistakes, while calmness makes you sharp. Bruce Lee's strikes were like a whip. They were completely loose and soft until the moment of contact. Only in that final second, this concentrated softness turns into an explosion that could shatter the hardest concrete. Life is the same. The greatest achievements come not from those who shout, but from those who progress quietly and with consistency. When you are angry with someone or treated unfairly, create that soft void, instead of reacting immediately. That void is your true area of freedom that allows you to choose the right action instead of just reacting. Remember that water is the softest substance in the world, but over time it corrodes and destroys even the hardest iron. Your kindness and patience will win much more lasting victories than the aggression of others. A soul confident in itself has no need to prove anything to anyone, so it has no need to become hardened. Those who are truly strong are those who know how to bend when necessary and wait for the storm to pass. Your ego forces you to harden, but your soul whispers that you must remain soft. To remain soft is not to submit to everything. It is to use your own power wisely and economically. When you find that serene water within yourself, no fire in the world can burn you. Living in flow, the ultimate state of being. Living in flow is the disappearance of all boundaries between you, your work, the environment, and yourself. In this state, there is no longer a me who is trying. There is only the action itself and the rhythm of the moment. For Bruce Lee, this was a level of mastery where thought and action occurred simultaneously. As water flows, it does not think, "Should I go here?" It simply flows as the path requires. When you turn your life into a flow, difficulties no longer appear as obstacles but as natural stones within the river. To reach this level, you must completely shed the burdens of the past and the dreams of the future and stay in the now. Most of us see life as a destination, whereas life is a constantly changing process. A person in flow accepts failure not as an end, but simply as a change in the direction of the flow. This state is when the mind performs at its peak while being at its most peaceful. Think of that moment when a musician forgets the note, or a painter forgets the brush and becomes the work itself. Bruce Lee's advice to be water is actually a call to this state of integration. If you stop fighting life and start flowing with it, you take the energy of the universe behind you. Living in flow is living every second like a work of art, with care but without tension. When you let yourself go into the flow of life, you will see that the right opportunities and people come to you on their own. This is not surrender. On the contrary, it is a state of total alertness to everything existence brings. Do not be overly ambitious for anything and do not be overly afraid of anything. Just continue to flow in your own rhythm. Just as water does not stop until it reaches the ocean, your soul will flow until it reaches its own truth. When you leave here today, see the world not just as an observer but as a part of that flow. You cannot fit into any cup, nor can you be stopped by any boundary. You are the flow of infinite potential. Now take a deep breath, empty your mind, and start flowing like water in the magnificent river of life. Today we discovered the greatest legacy Bruce Lee left in our minds, the silent yet unshakable power of water. Remember, these words are not just advice, but a call to awaken the sleeping giant within you. You never know when life will try to fit you into a cup, but it is in your power not to be trapped in that cup. Every day you should empty your mind a little more and look at the world each morning like fresh, clear water. You are not alone on this journey. Every week, we will continue to open the minds of legends for you here. If this philosophy resonates with your soul, don't forget to like our video so we can reach other souls who are searching like you. Subscribe to our channel to start your own transformation story and stay with us on this path of wisdom. We've taken the first step in this monumental 100-lesson series by Bruce Lee. There's so much more depth to explore ahead. Now close this video and just remember this one sentence. The harder you are, the easier you break. Stay in the flow, be authentic, and never stop. Be like water, my friend. If you've watched this far, you're open to growth and value knowledge. Thank you for watching. I'd be grateful if you subscribe and support my channel. See you in the next video. Goodbye.